Alrighty, everybody. Well, I am in a better mood now, so I figured it would be a good time to tell the infamous Vincent Gallo story. In my Soft White Underbelly interview, there was a part that some people picked up on where I said something about the Vincent Gallo show. One guy even did some research and managed to figure out exactly what the show was. So that was interesting. Not that hard if you put together my name and the time period and stuff like that. And then Vincent Gallo in San Francisco. But anyway, yeah, drinking some piss again. This time some real dark shit. Um, so, all right. So Vincent Gallo. The thumbnail of this video is going to be a picture of us when we first met. And here's the story. So, I was 18 years old. God, you hear all those kids yelling, man. That's my neighborhood. I live in a decent neighborhood. Yes, I rent my own room. Yes, I have roommates. I do not live with my parents, or I do not freeload off my girlfriend or anything anybody, is thinking. Anyway, so 18 years old, 2003. I am, figuring out life. I'm, finding myself and everything, formative years. And I had a friend named Dan. Dan was one of the most amazing friends I've ever had. Unfortunately, Dan lives in, I believe, Tokyo or Taiwan now, and he's been there off and on a lot since maybe 10 years ago, I think. Yeah, 10 years ago. He also lived in LA for a time period, but in the early 2000s, Dan was in San Francisco, and Dan came from Palo Alto. So he was a Bay Area, for the most part, guy, and we met through the Live 105 online message board. Live 105 was the local alternative rock station, and we would chat on the message board. This is back when we started 56K modems and then cable, and it started off as the dial-up. And I remember, I'll also have to tell you guys a juvenile hall story one day. I was in juvenile hall for 2 weeks, and I remember when I was in there, I snuck on the computer and got on the message board. Certain sites were blocked, but that wasn't. And I said, hey, somebody, I don't know what I was expecting, but I was like, I'm in here, like, tell everybody I'm getting out, or I'm gonna be fine, or whatever. And so everybody's like, what the fuck, dude got arrested. So that's a whole nother story. We'll save that for later. Anyway, Dan, best friend, always knew of all the best bands and movies, a lot of stuff that I learned early on. And I was 17, 18, 19. Dan probably showed me. Dan showed me Devendra Banhart. Dan showed me the Black Lips, who I have a tattoo for them. Dan showed me all different things. But what he showed me in terms of movies was a movie called Buffalo 66. He told me it's a great movie. I think you're going to like it. And I was instantly in love. For those of you who haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it, obviously, or else I wouldn't have, 66 tattooed on my arm. Yeah, that was the second tattoo I ever got when I was 20 years old. And so just love the movie. The Vincent Gallo was the writer, the director, the star. He did the music. He wrote original songs for the movie. And then he said most of the money he spent on the movie was actually licensing some of the songs from King Crimson and Yes. And then there was some other stuff like 40s or 50s, I guess, stuff from Stan Getz and Frank Sinatra, not singing, but music Sinatra used, and anything. Anyway, who cares? I'm getting too deep into it. You can tell I go off on tangents, right? So, anyway, shows me Buffalo 66. I love it. I'm with a girl and I'm showing her. We love it all day. Probably watched it 10 times in the first few weeks I ever found out about it. I loved that movie, or I still do. I'll always love that movie. It's my favorite movie of all time. If I start dating a new girl, which hopefully this won't happen again, hopefully this is the last girl, but when I meet a new girl and she wants to be with me, that's the first test. Well, I mean, besides meeting her, or whatever, if I show you Buffalo 66 and you don't get it or don't want to get it, out, gone, no more, not happening. And that's shallow, whatever, I don't care. Clearly I don't care about a lot. Anyway. So, 18 years old, finding that out. Sorry, I'm getting this stove going. And then around 19, I believe, the 18 was 2003. The movie, I believe, came out in 98. And then in 2004 or 5, Vincent Gallo released his second feature-length film, which he also wrote, directed, and starred. And it was called The Brown Bunny, which you also might know. A very controversial film due to its portrayal, or its actually unsimulated oral sex. He gets a blowjob from Chloe Sevigny in the movie. That's what it's, infamous for, but also a great movie. I also have this tattoo for it. His motorcycle racing number in the movie is 77, and the main girl character is Daisy. So, yeah. That's a whole nother story. So, Buffalo 66, love it, getting older, went to see Brown Bunny as soon as it came out, loved it. I'm in love with Vincent Gallo. So, then I'm like, Vincent Gallo plays music, so he's probably gonna play sometime. He announces a show, and I'm 19 or 20, and it's 21 or up. I can't get in, so that sucks. But then finally, 21 years old, and here comes Vincent Gallo with his new band called Rice. It was all caps, RRIICCEE, double letters and everything. And it was Vincent Gallo. Everybody was on guitar, and it was just some weird, jammy, freaky shit. It was Vincent Gallo on guitar, Eric Erlandson from Hole on guitar, who my cousin also dated back in the day, and then somebody from the Warlocks, not the main guy. I believe Tommy is the main guy, but not him. It was somebody else that was in the Warlocks. And so these three play at the Swedish American Music Hall in San Francisco, $25. Me and Dan are like, oh my God, we're gonna meet him. It's a tiny place, like, I'm gonna show him the tattoo. And here's the other thing is a lot of people, had heard, and especially Christina Ricci doing interviews after the movie, was that he was a total asshole. She said he was so mean to her, and it was because he was in character. Without spoiling too much of the movie, Buffalo 66, he, said that he was mean to her to be in character and to create I don't know the word for it, not an experience, not an aura, but, a mood. He wanted to create a mood, and stick to it. But anyway, and people had said he was a jerk in real life. So we're like freaking out. Oh my God, we're like little fanboys. So we go, they play for about a half hour. It is just fucking goofy, just jam noise guitar shit. There's no aim to it or anything. It was not that great in my opinion, I'm sorry. And he also had two ballerinas, one on each side of the stage, dancing, doing ballerina shit. And so, yeah, it was bizarre. Show ends, Vincent Gallo's standing around talking to people, and we wait our turn politely, and I went up to him, and I'm like, hey, like very timid and nervous. I'm a big fan of your movie, I love your work, like, great show. Wink. Not. Anyway, but still said great show and everything. And then I showed him the tattoo. I said, hey, I got this for the movie. That's how much I loved it. And he grabs my arm and brings me over to this entourage of his and is like, oh my God, look at this guy got a tattoo for Buffalo 66. I'm so proud of this movie. And it was so awesome. It was so nice. And so the photo that's the thumbnail, I'll maybe grab it when I get back inside or whatever. That's him and I in 2004 or 5. I was 21. No, actually it was 2006 because I was 21. So, yeah, and I look so goofy. This goatee I got and this outfit, and just what a joke. And he was so nice to me, and he said, email me or whatever. And I'm thinking, the guy's just blowing me off, or he's gonna move on with his life after this. So anyway, time goes on. A few months go by. I sent him an email on his birthday. I say, happy birthday, Vince. Just wanted to say, it's me, the guy with the 66 tattoo. And this is all he says. He says, hello, Matthew. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I don't receive many. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like my freaking idol. This is like a movie star. This guy's like a millionaire. And I'm wishing him happy birthday, and other people aren't. Wow. And I think, honestly, meeting me in the tattoo and then that email, I think those paid dividends. And I think that really struck a chord with him. Excuse me. Because he had another show coming up. And this time it was also Rice, but this time he had a full band. It was him, a drummer, a bass player, and Eric also on guitar. No, I'm sorry, he played bass, but there was a keyboard player, a drummer, and then Eric on guitar, and him on bass. And so, yeah, he did the show at Red Devil Lounge, and I emailed him before the show, and I said, hey, Vince, do you think you'd be able to put me and my friend on the guest list? And he said, as many list spots as you need, you know, whatever, let me know, and put me on the list with a friend at the time. Can't remember who went with me, but it was awesome. Met him again, got a poster, signed poster he gave me a deal on, which was still fucking expensive. I mean, this dude's artsy fartsy, so you know how it goes. So yeah, we you know, talk a little bit. It's great. Move on. Couple years later, a year later, he announces another show, and this time he's playing with Sean Lennon, and this is a small club still, so same thing. Hey, you take as many list spots as you want. And so I'm freaking, this time it was hilarious. I got all decked out. I'm wearing, in fact, right now, it's funny, it's almost similar. I'm wearing my girlfriend's pajama bottoms right now. I love these things. But and also I got the burger, pizza, taco, I believe, socks on. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, another tangent. Somewhere in these pinstriped, white with blue pinstripe bell bottoms, I'm wearing black boots, and I got this black, like, Western style embroidered shirt on and a fucking white cowboy hat on, right? Like, I'm fucking done up, you know. This is back when I'm growing my hair long. I haven't done this in a long time, just doing it because of COVID, and I can get away with it. But anyway, so yeah, I go to the show, I'm decked out, right? Well, I get there early, and I'm like, I want to have a drink. So there was this club called Chemo's that bands used to play at, and then eventually I ended up playing at. But the venue was upstairs, and there was a bar downstairs. Well, I'd go there all the time upstairs. The venue was, you know, a great time, everything, you know, diverse crowd, normal and everything. Well, this day I go in there and dressed like I'm dressed. I'm telling you, the bell bottoms, cowboy hat, all this shit. I sit at the bar and I order a drink. The bartender's super nice guy, super friendly, great guy. And there's a guy to my left, super friendly, great guy. And a guy to my right, super friendly, great guy. And I'm drinking, and I'm kind of like looking around. I'm kind of starting to notice something. And then it hit me that I forgot that Chemo's is a gay bar. And so, oh man, these guys probably thought I was a fucking queen of fucking whatever, San Francisco, I guess. And so, yeah, I drink my beer I got, like, left, but I'll see you guys, have a great day. And they're like, bye, come back. Like, I think one was like, you look amazing. Like, it was great. So anyway, another tangent for you. So I go back to the venue, fucking meet Sean Lennon, meet his girlfriend, Charlotte Kempmole. This is when they first started the group called Ghost of a Saber-Toothed Tiger. Not sure if they're still doing that, but anyway, yeah. And then Sean Lennon joined Vince for the his headlining act, and it was great. He was getting better and better. This band was turning into a legit band. Definitely had hints of the King Crimson and yes, like softer stuff that he was into. Vincent Gallo is a huge Chris Squire fan. I believe he was Chris Squire's son's godfather as well. Anyway, so yeah, so time goes on. We're friends. I can say this guy is my friend. He does stuff for me. He remembers me. You know, we talk. He's a friend. So let me toss this cigarette. So in 2011, I put on my first music festival. I was in a band called Outlaw in San Francisco. We were together for about 3 or 4 years. Had great times, did things I never thought I'd do. You know, it was awesome. But yeah, I didn't make it, and that was my dream. My dream was to be, you know, a rock star, but I didn't make it, and so whatever, you know. And that's kind of the reason, not to blame anything, but that's the reason that, you know, there is a Soft White Underbelly video with me, because I was presented, you know, the blues, the oxys at a vulnerable time in my life, and I'd kind of given up. So, you know, had things been different. Anyway, 2011 was the first festival. small time, little local thing, good time, you know, just kind of broke even. Second festival, bringing in some bands from LA, great time, amazing time, almost sold out. Everybody made money, everybody had a good time. Fucking went to bed at like 10 a.m. the next day. It was awesome. So third festival, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get to that next level. And so I get the bands, people from LA, you know, people from the Bay, everything, get a little lineup, and I go, I'm gonna see if Vince will headline, you know, see if he'll do it for me. Let's see how good of friends we are. And I emailed him, we negotiated a price and everything, and he was the headliner. And so, unfortunately, I, you know, got in over my head. I probably charged too much for the small venue, and, you know, so whatever, let's go in order. So, you know, we keep in contact. Day of the show comes, he shows up in this goofy, like, crappy 90s minivan. Dude's by himself. I'm like, you just drove up from LA by yourself? He's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, how cool would have that been to fucking had that ride with him, to be, that would have been amazing. But anyway, so he shows up, we're getting his gear out, we're getting everything settled. He's telling me about his guitars that Steve Jones used to own, and fucking Keith Richards used to own this guitar. And I'm like, you know, I'm all over, oh my God, that's amazing. And then he meets up with some girl, and this girl gotta be 21 or 25, you know, she's young. And, you know, Vince, you know, at this time, who gives a shit? I mean, I'm not condoning it. I'm also not against it. You date whoever the fuck you want as long as it's legal, you know. But so he meets up with this girl, and she's beautiful, and he says, "This is my best friend in the whole world," which is a quote from Buffalo 66. It was funny, and obviously she wasn't his best friend, but she's a hot chick, and so he's got the arm candy. And so, you know, we get settled in and everything, and he asked me if there's anywhere good to eat around. Oh, fuck, Live Sushi's 2 blocks away. If you love sushi, that's the spot. He goes, great. Takes her over there. A couple hours later, they come back, and this girl is fucked up, dude. I mean, wasted. She's beyond drunk. She's on something, too. And at this point, he's not hanging out with her. And she's kind of in the corner sulking and drinking by herself. And I'm like, who knows what the fuck happened? Vince doesn't like drugs or drinking. I know that. So, I don't know. Maybe she got, you know, started drinking because she was upset or something. But I'm not saying anything. I don't know what happened. And security's coming up to me, and they're like, bro, you need to take care of this girl, man. She's like fucking passing out. So I'm like, great. So I go up to her, talk to her, and she's got some girl like consoling her. I said, hey, you know, my name's Matthew. I'm putting on the show. You know, I just, security was worried about you. This freaking girl next to her goes, yeah, she's fine. I got it. Like, she thinks I'm trying to like swoop in on the messed up girl, right? And I'm like, no, this is not what's going on here. I'm just trying to cover my ass. So, anyway, you know, I tell him, I say, Vince, you know, this is going on, your girl, blood. He says, get her, if she's got to go, kick her out, it's fine. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. You know, so that was kind of odd. But, time went on throughout the day, and I started to realize that it really was not going to turn into what I needed it to be monetarily. Luckily, I had set aside a little bit of money just in case, and that didn't turn out to be the worst case scenario. It was worse than I could imagine. And so Vince being paid, you know, I don't want to talk about the exact amounts. He got mad at me about that, and you know, at this point I'm trying to not be a jerk and move on. And so he was paid 5 times as much as the next band, you know. So let's put it that way. He was getting paid quite a bit. And so when I realized at the end of the night it was about $500 short, which I'm putting out thousands of dollars. Like, this was a, you know, it didn't reach 10 grand, but this is, you know, getting up there that I'm paying all these bands, and I paid everybody. And so I said to him, you know, I said, hey, you know, so I took him aside. I said, I'm sorry, I know it's unprofessional, you know, but, you know, you're getting a certain amount. I can give you, you know, let's see, somebody's going to do the math here, whatever. I can give you the majority of it. Let's put it that way. I can give you the majority of your money, but I need to send you $500 later in the week when I get paid. Promise I will, you know me. And he looks at me and he just goes, no, sorry, I got to pay my guys. And he walks away. And so it was like at that moment that I was like, fuck, maybe he's not my friend, you know, like maybe this is just a business deal, and maybe I got wrapped up in the whole guest list thing and meeting Sean Lennon, hanging out, you know, and like, because I feel like if you're a friend with somebody, they would be more understanding, you know, but it is what it is. I screwed up. I should have put aside more money, but in the moment, I took it out on him, and after that, I posted something on Facebook, like being a jerk, which I don't use Facebook anymore because of stuff like that. There's so much drama. I hate it. But which on the YouTube comments, Jesus Christ. But yeah. So I ended up having to pay the second band like a fifth or a quarter of what they were supposed to be paid, and they knew me too when we were friends, and they understood and said, okay, just please make sure. And I actually got them the money the next day because that's how fucking bad I felt. I made sure it happened, and that's what I would have done for Vince too, but whatever. So afterwards, I talked some shit online. This fucking lawyer called me. He called me threatening me to take it down, so I took it down, and then we bickered back and forth via email, and that was that. So yeah, that's kind of how it went. I actually recently, maybe a month ago, kind of reached out and just said, I'm sorry, I was immature, you know, and even if you don't respond, I just hope this gets to you. And he didn't respond, so who knows? You know, you live, you learn. But that was the very last show that that I played. I never played another show after that. I just gave up because I was losing money. Like I said, everybody was like, keep it up, man, you're doing great. Even at the second festival I put on, Jello Biafra came and told me that I was doing a great job. So I was really, I felt, I don't know, but you know, man, when you're working 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then you're running, you know, an hour train ride, going to band practice, and playing a show that night, getting home at 2 a.m., doing it again on 2 hours of sleep, you know, it's just too much. And so I stopped, but still make a little bit of music here and there, but I just am not as motivated anymore. And plus, you know, I got into the stuff I got into, and I'm sure that affects my motivation. And I just get overwhelmed, and I just can't focus, it seems. So yeah, that's the story. Unfortunately, there's not a happy ending, but that is the Vincent Gallo story. So thanks for watching. I hope whoever wanted to know about that or cared about it, I hope you got all your answers, and yeah, have a great night.